Good. Hi, everybody. Okay, Hanshi Glenn. We're going to work on some locks today. All right, but before we do, just loosen up just for a minute or two, okay? Just kind of move your hips around. Get the blood flowing a little bit. Shake your hands. Shake your head. Okay, shake your legs. Okay, move your hips in a circle. And go the other way. You go to your side and stretch. Go the opposite way. Lean back. Go down and stretch. Put your legs apart, bend those knees, push your elbows in, push out. Walk in, stretch. Okay. All right, now. When we're working karate, we're practicing your punches and kicks, and we can do the same thing with jiu-jitsu. All right, we do it all by ourselves. We can be in the North Pole, we can be in an igloo, and we can still stretch. We can practice some punches and kicks. We can do our katas, right? But with jiu-jitsu, you know, you need somebody. All right, so we'll practice some of the jiu-jitsu moves like we're doing a kata with nobody there. And then we'll plug someone in to see what it looks like. All right, so you can learn these even if you're by yourself. All right, well, so, you know, jiu-jitsu, our jiu-jitsu, Shinto Yoshin Kai, is broken up into 7 different categories of study. Okay, we have our nages, which is our throwing, ukemis, which is our falling and rolling. We have wazas, which are techniques, atemis, which would be strikes. We have kanamawazas, which are ground techniques, and we have kimino-katas, which are muggings or self-defense techniques, and then we have kaishus, which are counters to everything. Okay, well today we're going to work on techniques. Okay, and with the techniques, there'll be strike, there'll be atemis in there, and there might even be some nages, some throw. All right, all wrapped into the techniques that we're going to do. All right, we're going to work the first couple teiwazas, hand techniques. Okay, then we'll move along to a kimino kata, and we'll see. Maybe we have something else we're going to do. So for this, we need a partner. Okay. Okay, so we didn't weigh in yet, so let's turn and courtesy bow. These are the teachers and the flag of the country, and then we'll bow each other, and to you. Good. Okay, so the teiwazas aren't self-defense technique by themselves. They can be. It's just learning the techniques. And then we can turn these into kimino katas, which is a shock, stop, takedown, control. Okay? All right, so the first one is just going to be for a wrist grab. So my opponent, she grabs my wrist, all right? And of course, I'm going to bring it up. But you know what? It's not easy to bring it up if she's holding me, all right? So if I try and do the technique, right, and she's holding me, I'm going to have a little problem, okay? We're going to work the technique, okay? And then we'll show you a couple things you can do to actually work these for real. All right? All right, so the technique works like this. I'm going to come up just like I'm doing my middle block. Okay? Here's my middle block. Okay? And since my hands are open, I'm going to leave them open. All right? So I'm just going to come up. Now, we have a self-defense technique we can do from here. And we also have something called a hazushi. Now it sounds like kuzushi, which means breaking balance, but hazushi is a release. All right? All right, so what do we mean by release? Is that we're going to come up, okay? And notice I'm going to get my elbow into my hip over here. Because I'm not going to use the power of my arm, I'm going to use the power of my body. See how I'm moving forward this way? All right, my hip is into my body, see the way I can push it back. All right? But we're not going to go in this way. We're going to go over her shoulder into a thinning. Watch. Look how easy this releases. Okay? Now, of course, I'd want to be able to do some type of anatomy with that. Maybe I'll come here. All right? And then we can work on different type of finishes. All right? But from here, what we're going to do is I'm going to come up to this position here. Notice I'm pushing with my hip. And then I'm going to take my other hand, I'm going to come underneath. My thumb is going to go right down her triple warmer point over here. And then I'm going to rotate my hand like so. And I'm going to step, and this will be taking her down. All right? So, from here, I'm going to put my hand up like so. Come underneath. Notice where my thumb is on that triple warmer point. Okay? And there's the release. I'm going to put my hand over my thumb. And then I'm going to press down. And this will take her down. All right. Remember, joints bend. Joints twist. But joints don't bend and twist at the same time. All right? So that's the action we want to get when we do these techniques. All right? So from here, she grabs my wrist. Come up, come underneath, hand on top of my thumb, okay? And you always want to have a flat thumb. When I mean by flat, it's not like this. I know the pressure point's there, and we want to push on it, okay? But one of the counters that she could do with this was she'd take her hand, okay, and she's going to hit it like that. Break my thumb. All right? So, watch. Okay? If I came up and my thumb is not a flat thumb and she hits it. All right? So that won't happen if my thumb is flat. Okay? Then take my hand, come over, and press down. All right? So we're going to do it together. Okay? So the hand comes up. This hand comes underneath. Now look, we're going to place our thumb underneath our ring finger in triple warmer number 3. Right there. Okay, so this hand now becomes what? My opponent's hand. And then I'm just going to press like that. Down and in. Okay? Let's do it again. Ready? So we're going to come up, put your hand underneath, and turn. Now, does this look kind of familiar? Watch. Well, guess what? Every time we do this in the beginning or the end of a form, we're actually working this technique. Look. And that will be putting it down to the ground. Okay? So everything has a meaning. A symbolic meaning, and the practical application. That's the practical application. All right, so once again, she grabs my wrist, I come up, I come underneath, place my shudo, strike right on my thumb, and I press down. Okay, so this would be practicing. Notice when I'm doing this, my hand is constantly touching her hand. Okay? All right. Because feeling and sensitivity, uji, is a very integral part of our system. It's one of the 5 principles of Jiu-Jitsu. feeling. All right? And if I lose contact, I lose that feeling. All right? So from here, I come up. Notice how smooth my hand. Okay? And watch, I'll do it with Sensei Jody. Okay? Again, in the mirror, come up like a middle block. Place your hand in the back of your hand. Thumb is down your ring finger. Here's the triple warmer point. You're going to press in and twist. Okay? Try the other hand. Come up. Hand in the back of the hand. Turn. Twist. Okay. Now, an atemi. An atemi is one of our categories of study. An atemi is a strike. It doesn't have to be a strike. Okay? It just means to a proper point, to a proper target at the proper time. Alright? So, if my opponent is grabbing me and I come up to do the technique, well, now she's letting me, but you know, the person who's grabbing you probably going to be stronger than you. Okay? And they're not going to let go or let me raise your hand the way that Sensei Jody did. Okay, hold me tight. Thank you. Now look what happened. Okay? I did an atemi. I didn't knock her out. I could have done a strike, a punch, a kick. Okay? But all I did was distract her. Because right now, 100% of her brain is thinking about holding my wrist. So what I'm going to do is cut that connection. So I'm going to give her something else to think about. So she's not thinking about that, and there I go. All right. So if I was going to do this as a real self-defense technique, not just the learning how to do this type of a lock, or breaking this type of a lock. By the way, this is called EQ or Kodagaishi. Okay? Kodagaishi. Twisting the wrist. Alright? Alright, so from here, what I would probably do is this. The first rule of combat, or close in contact, okay, would be to move. Okay? Where do I want to move? Obviously, I'm not going to move into this direction. I want to be able to move away from a punching hand. So maybe I'll come up like this. Okay? I did a distraction. Okay? Or actually, what I did was broke her balance. And what do we call breaking balance? Kozushi. Alright? So I'm stepping away. Okay? And from here, guess what? Since I want to put my hand here, I really don't want to use it to do a strike. So by stepping to the side this way, okay, is another way that even if she's grabbed me very tight, okay, she won't be able to stop me from moving. And instead of using my hand, I'll use my foot. There's the kick. Then, here's the Kodagaishi, and then she goes down. And from here, I want to do one of my locks, or one of my finishing moves. Okay? All right. So let's look at the camera. Okay? And you're looking at us, we're looking at you. So here's your block. All right? As I do that, I'm going to kick. Here's the move. I take them down, and then I step back. And this is just the finish that I did. How many finishes are there? Infinity plus one. Okay? It's never ending. All the finishes that you could do. So what you want to do is find one or two that you really do well, that you like doing. And those are the ones that you put to the end of your Kimino comments. So what I did was, I took this lock that we're learning, or this Tewaza hand technique, and I made a complete Kimi no Kata out of it. And we can do that to all these Tewazas. All right? So, number 2, instead of coming up this way, I'm going to circle the opposite way. Instead of coming this way, I'm going to go this way. And notice that I'm going to catch her wrist between my thumb and forefinger. Right? Now, in the old days, we used to bring this all the way up to this hand. But to make it a little bit easier, okay, what we're going to do is we place our hand on top of her hand, and then we circle and bring it up. Okay, from this position here, I want to create a right angle. Well, that's not quite a right angle there, because it's not 90 degrees, so I will push it in. Oh, there it is. There's a right angle there. There is a right angle here. Okay, and we have both of those right angles. Okay, I place one hand on top of the other hand. And I'm going to make sure my fingers aren't touching her wrist. Because if I do that, I'm actually helping her. I'm bracing the point where I want to put all the pressure. So if I do, I'll just pick my fingers up. And from here, I'm just going to push in and down. Okay? Okay? All right. This is called Nikyu, or the second wrist position. Okay? So we have EQ, Nikyu. Okay? So watch again. From here, place your hand. Let's do the other hand. I place my hand on top of her hand. Now, I could be grabbing, but when I grab, I tighten up my arm muscles. Okay? And if she was coming with a punch, I couldn't release and block it. But if I pin, see, I'm just pinning her hand. If she goes to punch me, see, my hand can come right up. Okay? So pinning is good. All right? Even if she was grab here, or just put your hand flat. Okay? And see how I'm not grabbing, I'm just pinning. Okay? Now, if she can take her hand out, yeah, but she's got work to do it. All right? By the time that happens, I've already done whatever technique I want to do. Okay, so pinning is better than grabbing in a lot of situations. All right, so back to the grab. So I place my hand on top of her hand. Here's my pin. I circle to the outside, catching her wrist between my thumb and forefinger. I circle it in. I create the right angle. And then I go like that. Very simple. Okay? She grabs. Come up. She grabs. Circle. Come up. Okay, so let's do that into the camera. Okay? So we've got the wrist. We're going to circle to the outside. Okay? I'm pinning your hand. And then just go like that. Let's try the other hand. Ready? From here, let's grab her hand first. Here's the pin. I circle to the outside. Okay, I'm going to make that right angle. So almost like my right angle here. And then I'm just going to put my fingers over and just press forward. Okay, so we do one this side. Go around. And up. And this side. Okay. So, she grabs my wrist. Okay? All right. So, remember, move. We don't want to stand there to do this. Here's what she's holding me, and she's getting ready to hit me. So, what I want to do is, see, I want to step to the side. Makes it much harder for her to hit me. Okay? You could follow me, but you're not going to have too good a result. Okay, so from here, I step here. and there's a move. I could be doing this also as I step. Go down, okay? Or as I come up to here, okay? How can I strike her if both my hands are tied up? I could use my feet, but, oh, no, boom. Let her hit herself. Right? All right, so from here, pin, circle, I can be kicking. I can be taking her down, take her all the way down to the ground.
Easy, that shoulder.
Okay?
Easy.
Drop, drop, come over, samurai walk, and armbar. Okay? All right, so that's Tewaza number 2. So now let's do Tewaza number 3. Okay? Number 1 and number 2 are for Juno or the same side. Number 3 and number 4 is opposite. Okay? So number 3 looks like this. I take her hand. Grab. I'm going to step to the side this way. Again, I'm stepping away from what? From punching hand. I actually have a wakigatami right here. See that arm bar? I don't want to go too hard because I know Sensei Jody has a bad shoulder. Okay? And look what happens here. Ready? See how the release works on there? She can't hold me because her thumb isn't strong enough. Okay, from here, I'm going to pivot. Right? And then I'm just going to step and take her down. So here's my katana right here. All right, watch again. Okay? I grab as I step away. And now look how tight I'm getting here. See how close I am to her? Here's that arm bar. Then I'm going to rotate back up. Notice I haven't grabbed at all with this hand. It's placed on the back of her hand as I circle. And then I step. And here's my katana. I take down. All right, let's do it in the mirror. So, this hand is being grabbed. So let's just grab ourselves. That represents his hand. And I'm going to step and turn. So my hand opens up. This just broke his rib. Then I'm going to reverse my feet without stepping, just reverse. And then I'm going to come up. Here's my sword. Step in and cut. There's my kitty, my cut. All right, let's try it again. From here, my wrist is his wrist. Okay, so I'm going to step and turn. That broke the grip. Here's that arm bar I was talking about. Then I'm going to reverse my feet. No steps, just reverse. And here comes the cut. And then I just step forward and I cut. All right, let's try it with the other hand. Okay, from here, I'm going to grab my opponent's hand. I'm going to step. Then I'm going to pivot, come up, and cut. Okay. Now, we're doing all these moves slowly for learning purposes. All right? And we're taking these circles and we're making it nice and big so you can see all the motions that we're doing. All right? So we're doing very classically. Okay? But in reality, for combat, we want to take all those circles and we're going to make them smaller and smaller and smaller. And by gosh, we have a small circle. Okay?
My favorite.
All right, so she grabs my wrist, okay? Instead of me, watch. Here's a big circle. Here's a big circle to come down. All right? It will look more like this. Okay? The same thing. Look. Okay? Now, we have a rule. And the rule is we always want to step away from the punching hand. However, on this technique, if I do it correctly, okay, I can go right into her hand, okay? Because what I'm doing is this. And I'm going to grab, I'm going to pull this way, see? And then I'm going to switch and take her down. So I could step that way if I wanted to. But really, it's here. And no matter how hard she grabs me, she can't stop me from doing this. Right? Because I'm just going around her power. Here's my grab. Back of my hand. Here. Now remember, we're going to bend and cut. So we're going to twist her arm, her wrist as we do that. And then here's my katana. Here's my cut. All right. So that's Tewaza number 3. So let's go on to Tewaza number 4. Okay, remember 1 and 2 are Juno, same. 3 and 4 are Gaeku, which is opposite. Okay? Okay, so from here, what do? Well, pin. Again, I come up, grab, match my elbow, and from here, just gonna roll. Okay? Alright, watch again. Pin. I circle. Now, what do I mean by circle? Circle looks like this. All I'm doing is my Chunanuki, my middle block. My hands are open, so I'm going to do an open hand. And then I'm going to reverse the grab her hand.
That looks like a kata, Sensei.
Well,
Which one is that one?
what?
More advanced.
Okay. All right. This is a lot of Goju forms, by the way. All right. And we also do it in Shuri. It's a very, very common technique that you see in forms. And all we're doing is this technique. Okay. So she grabs my wrist.
Oh,
Feet. Pin. Here's my circle. Okay. Match elbows. If I needed to look. And then I would roll. Okay, very, very simple. Okay, let's do it in the mirror. Okay, you're in my mirror. So from here, my hands being grabbed, grab, circle, down. Okay, now it's very important. When you do a middle block, you don't go to here. You go all the way up. So my hand is vertical. And then turn and come down. Okay? Watch again. Okay? I pin. Look at my hand, look. It's circling all the way up. Okay? And then it creates a lot of torque as I go down. Okay? The higher up you go, the more torque you're going to get on her arm. Okay? Also notice that I didn't go to here, I go all the way up. And down. Okay? Alright, so grab the wrist again. Pin. Circle. Okay? Well, this isn't that good. Because see, your hand is this way. And I need to have it that way. Okay? So I'll just correct it. And then we'll roll and put her down. She grabs my wrist. Well, where's her punching hand? Good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to step this way. Oh, good. Now look, here's my kick. I'm going to press into her this way. That way, I create the 90 degrees. If I can't create that 90 degrees there, then if she wants to keep her arms straight, I'll keep her arms straight, and I'll go into my wakigizami, my arm bar that way. Okay, and then I can switch it back around and then go here and then back down, go back in and down. So I can play with those two techniques as I'm doing it. All right? All right, so from here, grab and circle, match elbows, and then like that. Okay? So we have, let's do our 4 that we did today. Okay? Number 1. Okay, well, number 1. Okay? I'm going to circle, grab. Now, what you can do is you can just grab your fingers here. And that represents grabbing them. And then come down. Let's do the left side. Come up, grab, and down. Number 2. Okay? I'm going to go to the outside. So I'm going to pin, circle, fingers over fingers, and just point. See my fingers pointing? Pointing down. Okay, opposite arm. We're going to pin, circle, and then down. Number 3, hand is out. We're going to grab the hand, representing grabbing his hand. And I'm going to step this way. And then in a reverse direction, step and cut. Okay, let's do the other side. Hand is out. So I'm going to grab his hand. All right? I'm going to step 1 and 2. Oh, we got it mixed up there. All right, let's do that one again. Now, do it with Sensei Jody. Here she goes.
You.
You do it right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Which one are we doing? That one?
Yes.
Cool.
Do it when you step forward. Okay. All right. So it's easier, 10 times easier when you do it with an uke, with a partner. Okay. But you might not have one, so you really have to visualize. Okay. Transcend to the next level. Okay? All right. And number 4 would be grab, circle. That's it. And the other hand, grab, circle, and down. Okay. All right. We're going to take time out for just 1 second. Okay? I don't know if I'm going to check what's in.
I can't see it.
33 minutes.
Okay, we'll cut that.
What? You want to do?
The chatty part out. We'll cut the chatty part out.
Yeah, like 30 minutes. 35 and 6. All right. All right, so we'll go back to it. All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? For black belt, you have to work 15. However, we do have 20 of them in our system, and the last 5 are something that I have hidden at home in my notebook when it was taught to me by Sensei Wrench. Okay? Because I was very smart when he taught it to us. What did I do? I wrote it down in my notebook, just like you should be doing with your notebooks. All the techniques that will go in the videos, okay, you should be putting into your notebook. You can have a section on vocabulary. You can have a section on Jiu-Jitsu. You can have nages, wazas, and all your kimino katas. You can explain them. Okay, you can put them down for yourself. Okay, and the same thing with karate. Okay, look at all the vocabulary words we have there. Okay, so everything should be in your notebook. All right, so let's work on a required kimino kata. Okay, and this is for someone coming from behind you and putting his hand on your shoulder. Okay, now I don't know if it's his right hand on my shoulder. I don't know if it's his left hand on my shoulder. Okay, the only thing I do know is that it's this shoulder. So we're going to turn towards that shoulder. Okay? And so as I step back and turn towards that shoulder, this hand is coming.
I know what's coming.
This hand is coming down and is coming down this way. Okay, watch again. Okay, this shoulder, so I step back towards that shoulder. I put my hand up this way, and you can see, okay, this is guarding my face in case a punch is coming. And then I circle, and then I come straight down with my elbow as I grab. This hand is going to go smack into her chest. Let's turn around. This way. And then up. So what I want to do is I want to get my hand, my toho uchi, my tiger strike, into her throat. Okay? But if I go to strike, I might hit her chin instead, or she might be ducking her chin into her chest, and I won't get the strike where I want it. So what we do is this. We don't go for the throat. We go for the chest. Okay, and I'm doing this lightly. I don't want her to enjoy it, but this is a boom. And from here, even if she ducks her head down, I slide my hands up. Okay? So it's too much. It's here, into the chest, and slide up. All right, now, her throat is stronger this way than it is that way. You can do this to yourself. Take your fingers, put it on your larynx, your throat, right here, and you can go back and forth. And you can feel it moving back and forth. So it's weak this way. It's stronger when you hit it. Okay? Now I've seen people in demonstrations tighten up their throat and take blows there. Okay? For demos, you don't want to practice that. Okay? But this is stronger. This is weaker. So if I just got to this position here, okay, what I'd be doing, I would take my fingers and I'd be pinching there, and then I'd be moving side or sideways, and I can come in and do my Osoto Gari, or work on your striking, turning around, Koshi Garuma. All right, we can go into many, many different things from there. Okay, but on this technique, we're actually this way. Coming down. I'm coming down this way. Now, there's the strike, and then I slide up. Okay, and from here, all right, remember, in order to do a throw, we have to create what? Kazushi first. So my Kazushi would be here. Okay, and then my Osoto Gari would be here, and as she goes down, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the knee closest to her head here. And this hand is going to come underneath this way. Okay, and it's going to bend her arm. So what I actually have is a Kimura lock right here. You see it from the ground, but this is a different position than we have the Kimura. Okay, now this is very important. I need to take this foot and step over this way. If I don't do that, she can spin out of the lock. All right, and from here, all I'm going to do is just turn. Like so. Okay, so you can do it with either leg. And I think this leg is actually working a little bit better. All right, so the leg closest to her head goes over her head. This is locked. Now, when I do this lock, what I'm going to do is straighten up my body. I have good posture, and then I turn my body, not turning her hand, I turn my body. All right? All right, so let's work that whole technique again.
Let's do the other shoulder, okay?
Okay, so from here, I'm going to step back. This hand's coming up, and this hand's coming up. It's almost like I'm protecting myself. Okay? I'm coming back this way, Okay? I circle, drop this elbow down. Here's where I'd be slapping your chest into her throat. Okay? And then I take this step. Wait, you're not going down yet because I'm creating what? Kazushi. Then I do my asotogari. From here, I drop. Here comes my arm here. I take this foot, step over her face. Good posture. Her arm is bent, and I just twist. And there's my there's the tap. Okay? All right. So let's try this into the mirror. Okay? So my hand, my shoulder is being grabbed here. Which way do I turn? I turn towards the shoulder. Look, both hands come up on the side of your head. Okay? As I step back. And I come straight down. Okay? And from here, I hit the chest, grab the throat. I can take another little step if I need to, because I want to get behind my opponent's leg. And then I do my asotogari. And as they go down, I go down. Hook their arm. Here's my Kimura lock. Put my foot over their head and turn. There's my twist. Okay? All right. So let's try it with the other way. This opponent, this shoulder's being grabbed. So what am I going to do? I'm going to.
Are we doing the same side, right shoulder
Yeah.
back?
Into the mirror. Okay, just out. Okay? Okay, so from here, my hand comes up. This shoulder is being grabbed. As I step back. Okay? Then, this is coming down, slapping the chest. I took another step. Create Kazushi. I take down. There goes my opponent. He's down the ground. I drop. Okay? I pin his arm, step over, and twist. Okay, now my opponent is grabbing this shoulder, but with the opposite hand. Now, I don't know it's the opposite hand because I can't see behind me. Okay? So from here, what am I going to do? I'm going to turn into the same way. When I get to here, I see my opponent, so I keep stepping this way. All right? So if my opponent was actually punching me, see how I step to the inside of a punch? Here's the strike to the chest. Here's to the throat. Look at the Kazushi I just created here. See? Sensei Jody bending back. Okay? From here is my asotogari. Okay? From here I drop this arm from underneath. Okay, bend that arm. There it is. Here's the Kimura lock. This time I'm going to take my opposite foot and put this over. Notice how my back, notice how I'm nice and straight, and then I just twist. Okay, and that'll rip the shoulder right off. So very be careful. Look how gently that I did it with my uke. Okay? If you don't treat your uke well, you won't have an uke to work with. Okay? All right, so we're going to do this one more time, and I'm going to do the
Let's do this first so they can see. This is one, I can't let you do it. This shoulder.
Okay, so from here, I can be cheating a little bit because I'm looking in the mirror, but I don't need to. Okay? I just know that this shoulder's being grabbed. So I'm going to step back, see how both my hands come up, protecting me. As I step back, I see her right there. And there's a strike to her chest. I slide up. This hand is grabbing her shoulder. Here's my Kazushi. Okay, here comes the asotogari. I drop. Okay, make sure this arm is bent. It's not straight. Bent. Take this leg. I'm going to step over. Straighten my back. I can lock my hands if I need to, if I want to. And then I just twist. And that would be the finish. Okay? Okay. All right, so today we worked on a rear shoulder grab. Right hand, right shoulder, left shoulder, doesn't matter. You just go to the shoulder being grabbed. And then we worked the 4 tewazas, the first 4 today. EQ, NIQ, EQ, NIQ. Okay? Those are the 2 moves the 2 locks that we work on those 4 tewazas. Okay? And in the other tewazas that we will be learning, also the same locks in there, just doing it a different way. Okay, well, I want to thank all of you for working so hard, following the videos. If you have any questions, email me, or some of you have my number, call me. I can answer any questions you might have on all the things that we've been doing today or anything that we've done. All right, so keep training. Let's turn, let's bow out. And let's bow here, this. And until next time.